So before we started, this was on the Tupelo Nobiling's website. And I just think it's so sweet. So before you all, I'm just going to read it to you. So just settle into your nice, comfortable, sitting position. You can close your eyes and just settle in and meditate on these words from Jack Cornfield. He's talking about gratitude and wonder. And at the top of the quote, at the top of the piece is a quote by Maha Goshananda. If we cannot be happy in spite of our difficulties, what good is our spiritual practice? So then Jack Cornfield was talking like this. Gratitude is a gracious acknowledgement of all that sustains us, a bow to our blessings, great and small. Buddhist monks begin each day with chants of gratitude for the gifts of food and shelter, of friendship, and for the teachings that benefit all. Gratitude is the confidence in life itself. In it, we feel how the same force that pushes grass through cracks in the sidewalk invigorates our own life. In Tibet, the monks and nuns even offer prayers of gratitude for the suffering they've been given. Grant that I may have enough suffering to awaken in me the deepest possible compassion and wisdom. Gratitude does not envy or compare. Gratitude is not dependent on what you have. It depends on your heart. You can even find gratitude for your measure of sorrows, the hand that you've been dealt. There is mystery surrounding even your difficulties and suffering. Sometimes it's through the hardest things that your heart learns its most important lessons. As gratitude grows, it gives rise to joy. We experience the courage to rejoice in our own blessings and in the good fortune of others. In joy, we are not afraid of pleasure. We do not mistakenly believe it is disloyal to the suffering of the world to honor the measure of happiness we have been given. Joy gladdens the heart. We can be joyful for people we love, for moments of goodness, for sunlight and trees, and for the very breath within our lungs. Like an innocent child, we can rejoice in life itself, in being alive. Encounter every new moment with wonder and gratitude, and you'll experience that it's never too late to open your mind and your heart. As Bob Dylan sings, he not busy being born is busy dying. Give birth to a grateful spirit and you will discover how to live fully and freely. All right. So that's our little discussion about gratitude. So let's just settle into our meditation. Hi, Victor. Welcome. So just relax, lengthen the spine, put some space in between the vertebrae, shoulders are aligned with the hips and ears with the shoulders. Just notice any sounds in your environment. Just allow those sounds to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. And then notice the thoughts that are arising. And be curious about those thoughts. When you hear Jack's Cornfield's words, it's almost like, oh, there's another way to think. We can be grateful for our sorrows because they teach us lessons. They can be our teacher. Excuse me. And try not to get too involved in your thoughts, the thinking, the projections, the stories. Just notice the thoughts that are there. Just allow them to be there. You can just see them. And then bring to mind all the people of your life. Some of them you will see tomorrow. Your loved ones, the ones you don't like so much, and your strangers. And imagine they all can change place at any time. And maybe for some of you, this has been your experience. And then remember, they're all equal. They wish to be happy, and they wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So I think there is, well, before we do that, let's just offer the practice to others, and think of our dear Hin who's not really able to show up at the moment. But she's definitely listening to the meditations, I'm pretty sure. And then Lorraine's friend's son who went missing. Missing Geshe Dodo. And then my friend Lynn's friend who's passed away. So anyway, there might be somebody in your life who we can sort of send out love and light in this practice to. So thinking there is no negativity that cannot be purified, and remembering this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so we can equally change that by creating positivity instead. And we start here with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being in this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And you can think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we ourselves will experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha to forgive us. We purify ourselves by relying upon his medicine, his methods. So you can imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, facing the same way as you, made of beautiful white light, radiating light, made of light. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of, he's sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, and the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of someone you may have harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering for them in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this purification practice for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And now we come to the remedy, and this is the actual medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire being, filling you completely, and it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajrama mimata vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hom pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajrama mimata vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hom pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajrama mimata vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hom pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajrama mimata vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hom pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajrama mimata vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hom pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajrama mimata vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So next is the purification of your speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. It arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. And you can imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, all the inappropriate speech, the not knowing the right thing to say at the right moment speech. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajrama mimata vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hom pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hom Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hom Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hom Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hom Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hom Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And the next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on the switch and that light instantly dispels the darkness in the room. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness and anger and bitterness and depression and grudges and resentment, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hom Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hom Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hom Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hom Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hom Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of the negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So you can imagine that Vajrasattva very happily sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely. And it just eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata hom pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata hom pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Te. So now feel you are completely purified, and just imagine there's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now the power of resolve, and this is the fourth step in the purification process, and a really crucial one. And this is this determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind. And without making this determination, without making this decision, we're probably just likely going to be keeping on doing the same old things over and over again. So this determination, this aspiration to not harm again, becomes like a beacon that guides our body in new directions. Our body, our speech, and our mind in new directions. Becomes like our guardrails. And Rinpoche used to say, everything exists on the tip of the wishes, the aspiration. So think about something that you've been working on, but please just first of all rejoice in your unbelievable efforts. The fact that you turned up tonight, the day before Thanksgiving, which is usually quite a busy time for some people, I think. Cooking, preparing, traveling. But yeah, you all made the effort. So that's kind of amazing. So I think of also something you want to work on. Give yourself a reasonable timeline. And this determination to not do again is what gives us strength to change. And imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and just absorbs into you through your crown. And you can think that your teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and your own body, speech, and mind become the same. They're like one, no separation. And so our little bit on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So just at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. And let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you have created doing this purification to all living beings, particularly those people of your life. And then just bring to mind him, because I'm quite sure that if she was feeling well enough, she would be here. And just think, may all the virtuous karma I have created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So for His Holiness Dalai Lama, make a very, very strong wish for him to live long and be able to teach and practice and have a long and healthy and happy life. And they also a really strong wish for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, the unmistaken reincarnation, and for your own teachers. And just make a strong wish for them to live long, to be happy, and have all the things, all the resources they need. Okay, everyone, we're actually finishing a couple of minutes early tonight. How amazing. That means you people on the East Coast get to bed 2 minutes earlier than normal. Okay. And thank you so very much for coming, the East Coast people, because it's very late over there. Yes, exactly. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day tomorrow. Don't eat too much. And remember to keep your mouth shut. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Venerable.